Welcome, everybody. Yes, we're back for another great conversation. I'm David Bell and one of the co-hosts this morning, joined by Professor Alan Barrell, who I'm going to introduce in a moment. But welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. I know some of you are joining us from the UK. Some of you are joining us from further afield, our friends in Latvia, over in Eastern Europe. We have friends joining us from all the way over in China and also in the US and South Africa as well. So it's great to have you all here joining us for what is set to be another fantastic conversation. And we have an amazing guest that we're going to introduce you to very, very shortly and learn more about her journey and where it's taken her in the future as well. As always, joined by Professor Alan Barrell. Good morning, Alan. How are you this morning?
Morning, everybody. Great to be with you all. Have a nice day.
So we are going to dive in and learn more about our special guest, someone that I've been supporting and Professor Alan Barrell has been supporting as well, helping to kind of put the right bits of the jigsaw in the right places, help her on her entrepreneurial journey. Because what we like to share here, we love to share stories. We love to show, where people are, where they are aiming to get to, and what that journey looks like and how it's going to unravel. A little bit about their background, a little bit about where they are today, and a little bit about what that future could look like. So a very warm welcome to Dr. Meghana. Welcome. Thank you for joining us here this morning. It's a pleasure to have you here. Now, as we know, this is a very open-ended conversation. I'm going to encourage all our viewers and guests, if they wish to, you can use the comments and pop into the chat any questions that you have for our guest here. Any feedback is always welcome. The more interaction we have, the better it is. So tell us where you're from in the chat. Tell us what you're up to today. And you never know, we might give you a big shout out. But if you've got a question for Meghana this morning, we'd love to hear it. And we'll place it over to Meghana and see if she can give us a response. So Meghana, let's kick off. First off, tell us who you are. Tell us where you are as well.
All right. Thank you so much for having me today. And apologies for the voice. I'm a bit under the weather these days. I'm actually from Cambridge. First of all, I feel so calm and relaxed because I feel like home seeing you both out there. It's more like a family conversation. And having to start about an introduction, I'm Dr. Meghana Nadendla. I'm presently in Cambridge, but I'm actually from India. I'm a clinical pharmacist in India, and I did my psychology master's in UK. That happens to be my fourth degree. I'm presently working as a physician's assistant at Addenbrooke's Hospitals. It is a part of Cambridge University Hospitals. And I'm also the founder of PRIDaLLY. Leela. Yes.
Yeah, Leela the caterpillar. And we're going to talk more about PRIDaLLY in a moment and learn a little bit about how you come up with the concept, the idea, and the journey that you're on and where it's taking you. But as you said, you're working in the NHS currently at the moment in Addenbrooke's Hospital. Just tell us a little bit about that. Well, four degrees, you say, first off. So you've studied super hard to get to where you are. I mean, that's amazing. That hard work, that dedication, all that research time that you've put in. But yeah, just tell us a little bit about your day job as it looks at the moment. Working in the NHS, thank you for everything you do to look after us. That's super important. Keeping us well and fit is really important. But tell us a bit more about your day job.
So before I tell anyone about my day role right now, I have to say why I have choose this and why NHS. UK has always been my dream destination to study. I have this fantasy to study in princely states because I come from a princely city, Hyderabad. It's a Nawab city. And I studied in Mysore. It's again a princely state. And then UK has to be my destination to study again. When I was a child, my uncle used to talk about, now he's a UK citizen, he used to talk about NHS and the great things NHS has always done and how NHS has cared him and his wife when he is away from the family. So NHS has always been that superhero. So as soon as I graduated, the first thing I wanted to do is be a part of NHS. That's when I applied and not to mention how many rejections I have faced. But I finally landed on this role called physician's assistant. It's a unique kind of a role you can only see in Cambridge University hospitals. So we come under the Department of Pathologies. What we do is, as a physicians, in venipuncture, cannulation, and stuff. Or you can, in a very layman's terms, you can say we are vampires. We are after blood, and that will help understand what is like going in human body. So in a day-to-day routine, I see around 50 to 60 patients. So I can be in wards, or I can be in emergency department, or even outpatients. So we see people, we take their bloods, and I'm officially certified British vampire.
A vampire. I love the expression. Now, we've been working with you through Anglia Ruskin University, something very close to both Alan and I's hearts. We support ARU and have done for many, many years. And I met you, and Alan met you through the area, which is the Anglia Ruskin Enterprise Academy, where you come up with an idea. And I'm going to hand over to Alan here, because I think we are super impressed about what your idea is and how you've transformed it in such a short space of time, and the journey that you're on to take this to market. And we're almost there, and we'll come back and learn more about the idea of PRIDaLLY and how you've got it to where it is and what it's all about, because I think that's important we share that message today. I'm just going to hand over to Alan, because Alan, we've been supporting Meghana, and it's, well, an impressive young lady.
Very, very. And those of you listening, and I know that many of you will have dreams of possibly starting businesses. As you listen to Meghana's story about her journey, take good note, because Meghana has told you why she wanted to come to the UK, why she wanted to get into the NHS. She also now has a passion to help other people in a particular way with an online activity that will change lives. And her passion led her to find out how she might exploit it. She didn't sit around thinking, what shall I do? She was doing her degree in psychology at Anglia Ruskin, and she made inquiries about what is there in Anglia Ruskin for people like me that have ideas. And she found, and many of you around the world will find, similar organizations in universities, at least many of you will. And she made a big point of reaching the right people and saying, here I am, I've got this idea. And she learned about the area, Anglia Ruskin Enterprise Academy, which is some of us looking for people wanting to be enterprising and start companies or even do research or something new or innovative. And she attended some of the programs, and she began to be able to present her ideas in a much more coherent way. And that's when I met her, when she'd done part of the journey, and she came into the room, and immediately I wanted to work with her and help her, because I could see she didn't just have a good idea, she had passion. And the other thing that Meghana has demonstrated is a very great ability to listen to people and take advice. She doesn't always agree with the advice, but she listens and she finds ways forward. And when she wants something, she asks for it. And she's quite demanding in a very polite way, actually. And I like that, because it's nice to see people with a dream and a vision. And there's something very, very deeply emotional about Meghana's feelings about what she wants to do to help particular groups of people who struggle a lot in terms of their mental health, really, or their levels of stress and their levels of anxiety. And she'll tell you a little bit more about the company. So she's been a great pleasure to help. And progressively, from that first presentation, we've reached a point after some months of working together, and she's been very patient, where she's going to be enrolled in the NHS program that supports entrepreneurs who want to start enterprises. And we will work with her. She's going to need some money. She's sacrificed a lot. She works actually to put bread on the table, while she's starting also, I don't know where the hours come from, to develop all this wonderful stuff about the company and about PRIDaLLY. So she's one of those people that you can't help when you're people like me and David helping, because you feel there's something in there that's absolutely going to break out and change the world in a positive way. So that's my introduction. And I think, Meghana, you've now reached a point where your business idea is coming together. The business model is becoming well described, and anyone around in this discussion that wants to see more of it, I'm sure you're pleased to show them, not now, but later, what you've got and what you've done. Yeah. So that's my take on now tell us a little bit more then about this burning desire. Okay, you're in the NHS, you're a physician's assistant, you're working with patients, you've got a degree in psychology, you're a pharmacist, you've done some work also with Boots as an advisor. So you've achieved a lot of stuff, but now the big prize is PRIDaLLY. So tell them more about that.
So, before I tell anything about PRIDaLLY, I should really thank my university, Anglia Ruskin, for all the support I have got. I come from a place, and our roots say that Guru Devo Bhava, which literally means that teachers are equal to God. And the university is a temple, definitely. And it has literally helped me so much in a very good way to reach what I am here. Having said that, PRIDaLLY is all about everyone here. It is for people, by people. I have to explain in a very technical terms. It's a MedTech application designed to help the LGBTQ community and their allies. Whenever we talk about LGBT community, we have some bifurcation saying that they need separate rights, they need separate focus and stuff. I definitely agree to a part that they need something separate. But inclusive healthcare comes when everyone walks hand in hand and together. And PRIDaLLY is a safe space that provides a platform where not just people from the community, but also their allies be a part of their transition journey or their coming out journey. PRIDaLLY is all about people and for the people, and definitely by the people like us. So it is everything one needs to tackle their health and care needs. That's why we say it's a one stop solution for all your health and care well being.
Yeah. And so when we first. Sorry, Alan.
Do I go in, David? Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, we very first saw you, Meghana, when you come into the room to pitch your idea in front of a panel of judges, Alan being one of those judges. I was hosting the event, and you come in nervous, because everyone always is when they come into the room. They're going to pitch to a panel of judges. There's always an element of nerves, but you pitched your idea in the Think Big pitching competition with such passion, such determination and grit, that you won the support of our judges. Hence, Alan is sits on the board, on your advisory board as chairman, and I sit on there as an advisor alongside Alan as well. And the reason we joined your board, your team here as advisors, because we can see what you're trying to achieve. We can see that determination. You're working a full-time job, as Alan said, to put food on the table, a roof over the head and stuff like that. But that doesn't stop you putting in extra hard work to build out, something that you 110% believe in. And that, I think, is such an important thing. For anyone that's on a journey of starting a business, got an idea, you've got to have that passion, you've got to have that drive, you've got to have that grit, you've got to have that belief in what it is that you're doing, and that is something you definitely have. So just tell us a little bit the why did you decide to pitch this idea? And it was an idea at the time. How did you come up with it, and why did you come up with it? What was the reason behind it?
So it is a bit of an emotional story. I owe a lot to the community of transgenders. If I'm alive today, I will give a part of a credit to them. As said, I come from India, and I'm from a state called Telangana, and I live in a city called Hyderabad. So floods are quite a common thing out there. Whenever there is floods, you have water till your knees. And this is almost 15 years back from today. I was studying my intermediate and I was stuck in the floods. I was returning from my college and I was stuck in the floods, and there was no one to help me. Actually, the road is full of people. Everyone is trying to, get themselves to the safety. There were everyone out there, but no one tried to help someone unknown. But this two transgender women walked towards me. They were providing me the judge category security, and they took me to the bank and to the safety, and they gave me their phone to contact my father so that my father can come there, so I can talk to my father and mother saying that I'm safe, I'm alive, I'm everything. And they stayed with me for almost 2.5 hours until my father reached the place and everything, the rain subsided and everything. And they handed over me safely to my parents. And they just disappeared. So in India, it's common that transgenders come on the streets for begging for their livelihood. So I couldn't actually find them again to say thanks for keeping me safe, because it's not always safe to, live in a place like that. Anyone could have helped me. Any such gender would have done that to me. Any man could have done that to me, but no one turned up. There's these two transgender women who came up to me and helped, and then that had last an impression on me. And then I was studying medicine and I did pharmacy. That is where I understood the health gap this community is facing, and I was like, maybe I should do something for the community so it can be like a, give away or a kind of a gratitude shown to the community. So I try to do the best of I can, but there is a lot of gap that an individual cannot do. It should be a policy level change, or you should need something that can actually make the difference. And PRIDaLLY has taken its shape from there. So that's why PRIDaLLY came for to serve the community that has always been ignored or underrepresented.
And Meghana, PRIDaLLY is a company that enables communication between people. They get their help by communication using mobile telephone. So you've had to deal with the issues you've had to deal with are you have to get software developed, you have to decide what your messages are, you have to decide what people need, and so then you have to produce the product, because the software is very, very important. You don't do it yourself, but you have to have it done. And then you have to think about marketing and how do you reach the people that you want to help and others. And then you have to think about how do I finance it. So these are the key elements of what PRIDaLLY is becoming, an integrated company. You have people working with you now. You have a team, some of them in India. So say a little bit more about all of that, because you've achieved a great deal in constructing a real company that is now being launched.
So, having said that, I got this idea from there. So it started with few of my transgender friends, where we thought we would have a calendar to record your hormone tablets and stuff. That eventually developed into an fully functional app idea like this. So I don't have any technical background. I'm a very layman in that perspective, but I have my back. My brother is an engineer. He looks after the tech thing, so I'm sorted there. Uh, and in terms of social media and marketing, I have a social media team. I have really wonderful team working for me in terms of communication, in terms of developing infographical posts that can relate to Gen Z and Zen Alpha, because I feel very old to relate to Gen Z and Zen Alpha these days. So I have people who are from Gen Z and Zen Alpha to develop posts and make things more communicable. Uh, and I have three people working for my social media team, and have a technical guy to assist my brother. Apart from that, we had a huge hiring this time, and that is because of the partners we have, and all of them I should be very thankful for. We are just doing the barter system. They are helping me for the cause they have seen and the potential they have seen. Climate is an organization from India that is helping me, and we have recently hired 30 interns to develop a first of its kind queer affirmative drug bank that is an inclusive of Indian pharmacopoeia, international pharmacopoeia, and British national formulary. So any drug you name from any of the Asian countries or European countries, you have that drug in our drug bank. So you're sorted. So we have few organizations. There's one mental health organization called Unmasking Collective from India. They are also helping. And there's an organization called Overcome in UK. So they are helping with us. They're working with us to provide the mental health coaches, and we have organizations from US to help our social health module. So we have people all across the world, even from Singapore, to help us strategically place our initiative as a corporate social responsibility. So pharmaceutical companies and universities can take this, can help their students and staff in their well-being.
Yeah,
So
this is
those of you
amazing.
listening, I mean, you can hear that starting a business is not buying a book about how to start a business, is it? David and I know that very well. What you see here is the evolution of an idea. The business model and the strategy comes together because of Meghana's vision, which she's turning into reality. And see, when you listen to her, how much she's learning, how many people she's contacting, how she's finding things out. She's learning all the time. And she is leading the charge to put all this together. And when she finds she wants to move in a different direction, she is adjusting. She's flexible. So it's a really great story that supports what I keep telling people, David, that like the young lady we worked with in Finland who wanted to start a company, never done a business like Meghana's never done a business. But it isn't to do with you read a book and you know how to do it. You use your brain and you meet the right people and you think through your idea and people help you do it. And somehow you reach a point where it's tangible now and PRIDaLLY exists and it's ready for launch and it's already helping some people. So it's one of the reasons we like David and I to do these workshops, because the reality of life is if you've got the passion and you've got the vision, there is an enormous amount you can do that you may never have believed a year ago was possible. It's great.
Yeah.
Very true.
And
yeah, go on, David.
I was going to say, what's even more amazing is the time frame of what you've achieved. It was what, a year ago that you pitched your idea, and it was less than a year ago. And in that time, you've taken, the idea, you've turned it into a registered company. You've reached out and onboarded all these stakeholders, these, what I'm going to call flag flyers, those that are behind you, just supporting you. You've got, a team now behind you, as you've just mentioned, from social media to developers, helping you, take this forward. And you're at that point that you are pretty much, you're beta testing, you're ready to take this to market. And that's happened in like the last 12 months. So it's a great testament to what you have managed to achieve. But here's a question. What has been some of the challenges that you faced? We all know when you start a business, there's always challenges in that journey, things that, kind of stop you, make you kind of question your decisions. We fail at things and we have to get back up and brush ourselves down. But what has been some of the challenges that you've seen to date? We'll talk about successes in a moment, but what are some of the challenges that you've come across?
So I'm not answering to be diplomatic, but I can say that the backing I have got is such a safety net that none of the challenge has actually felt like a challenge for me.
That's great.
ARU has been backing me to the best of its core. I am also taking few of the students from ARU to work with me. They are working with me, and placement year students are joining next year. and we have students doing live reads and stuff. Whenever I stumble upon something like, okay, I'm not finding, and this is a dead end, I have people like you and professor helping me out. If not, if I go to area and I was like, I'm stuck, they signpost me to one or the other person saying that they can help me with this. So I would say that backing is something that has always saved me. And definitely we have challenges, but I don't want to be a pessimist talking about, oh, I did that all alone and stuff. I'm being very grateful to have amazing people around me like you. Like, I know half of the Cambridge and half of the Cambridge knows me, and that's all because of ARU, and I can't be less grateful about it. I mean, maybe in Hyderabad people doesn't know me, but in Cambridge every other person know, and everyone are someone as big as a director or a CEO of a company or a professor or a lecturer in a university. So any challenges I have got, I had backing from a university and amazing people like yours. So challenges are part of any new journey because you don't know how where are you going through, but networking actually helps.
Mm, yeah, relationships, connections. Something Alan will talk about. Connectricity. I'll come to you, Alan. You can explain connectricity, but building relationships with people, connecting, and asking for help. Something that Alan said you're not shy about, and that's great. You reach out and you ask, and people can say no. Of course, that will happen from time to time. But there's this wonderful thing in this community, and ARU is a great representation of that. But other universities, other business communities, people generally do want to help. So when you ask for help, people will pay it forward. They will kind of take a bit of mentorship or signposting, connecting people. So I absolutely agree that that networking, that relationships, that support that you build is powerful. But Alan, tell us about connectricity.
Yes, yeah, thank you, David. I mean, what Meghana and David have been talking about is how belonging to a network per se of itself doesn't achieve too much for you. You can belong to loads of networks, but you have to use the connections that you make in those networks. And I tell everyone that there's a difference between a network and an ecosystem. And an ecosystem is something alive where you have made the network work for you because you've gone to people and you've added energy and you've taken action. And David mentioned this word that I use, connectricity, connectedness with energy. You have to be demanding. You have to be resourceful. You have to use people like me in a nice way because you get to know people and you get to know they respect you and they like your idea and they like your passion. But I need help to know what Meghana needs. I can tell her some of the things I think she might do. But as I talk to her, in my mind clicks into, through connectricity, other people I know that I hadn't thought about, that I can connect her with, like a very, very important man in India that we've now connected, one of the richest pharmaceutical companies in the country. And I happen to know the guy that is the chairman of it because he spends a lot of money in Cambridge. And I think what you heard Meghana say about Cambridge is very important because she has made it into the active ecosystem network scene that she has described to you. She hasn't just gone to meetings and listened and gone away and thought. She's approached people and said, hey, you've told me this and you've told me that. Can you help me with something else? Can you write me a letter? Who do you know? Blah, 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 blah. And she's become an active part of the whole process, and she's found the people that can really help her. So, and I think networking, I mean, I'm doing work all the time connecting people. As you get old like me, you can't embark on too many new projects, but you can connect people. And it doesn't take too much time. I haven't spent enormous hours assisting Meghana. She hasn't demanded massive amounts of my time. But I think, David, you and I have been able to help her with some really interesting connections, which has enabled her to move forward at a faster rate. And when it comes to it, because of my background in venture capital in the past, when she's at the point where she might need equity financing, I'll be able to help her more. So you've got to find the right people in networks, and you've got to ask the right questions, and you've got to be bold and approach people. I mean, we approached the head of NHS Innovation, Professor Tony Young, with some information about Meghana. He does have a connection with ARU, but he replied the same day and said he would look at it and he will help her. Don't be shy. Don't think you are not important. You are very important. You're as important as you make yourself seem to be. And you are more powerful than you think. You are more powerful than you think. If you've got good idea, if you've got passion. And notice how Meghana talks a lot about people and the support that she's received. She is able to activate people because she thinks about it carefully, and it's the way she is, and it's the way she builds relationships. The R factor, relationships, how people work with each other and treat each other, is the essence of all the good things that go on in places like Cambridge. So there's a lot to take away from what you've heard today, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great tips there, Alan, and definitely, Meghana, you sharing your story and, you know, again, talking about the community, the relationships, the people that have helped you on this journey, but not to take away all your hard work and effort that you've put in as well. You know, that must be remembered, because without your initial idea, without all the hard work you've put in, you wouldn't be where you are today. But having the people around you makes that journey easier. We're going to wrap up very quickly now, but I've got one last question to put to you, Meghana. One tip that you could share with everyone listening today, if they're thinking about taking an idea and taking it and making it real, taking the idea and turning it into a business or whatever that looks like, what would be your top tip that you would like to share with everybody today? Just if you can share a couple if you like, but I'm looking for one in particular. What would be your top tip?
And that is really a thought. I should really think about it, but thinking about the time constraints we have, as like, if you think you can do it, you can do it. You don't need any validation. Self-validation is the most important thing. And if you self-validate yourself that you can do it, then you can do it. And to all the female founders over there, only you can do it. No one else can. You can only change the world.
Yeah. Believe in yourself.
Yeah,
Believe in yourself.
Yeah, believe in yourself. Yeah, I mean, my final message to everyone is that we've been communicating today, and people ask me, what is the most important thing you would suggest that we focus on when we try to develop our lives and develop our business and do what we think we want to do? And I say, and Meghana's done this very well, think about communication. Think about people. Communication, if you are seeking to get things done, is more about finding out how you can actually motivate and stimulate other people to do things than telling them how good you are and how wonderful you are and what, you know, brilliant ideas you've got. So the way you communicate, the way you approach people, the way you present yourself, relational behavior through communication, and use simple words. We're not talking about elaborate communication. And that's what Meghana has done from that very first encounter that I had with her. She communicated. She didn't say, I'm a brilliant business person and I'm going to change the world. She didn't say that. She said, I've got this idea that might actually be very, very helpful to very, very many people and could be turned into an important business. So she was realistic, but she explained and she captured the imagination of those of us that are supporting her. And I'm sure her last words are dramatic, David, really. If you think you can do it, you will do it. If you really believe you will do it, you will do it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great statement.
Absolutely. Meghana, it's been wonderful to have you here today to share a very small part of your journey. It'd be great to get you back maybe in 6 months or 12 months' time and see how things have progressed and the change that's taken place. And I have no doubt when we next talk to you, things have progressed immensely, and you can tell us all about that next part of the journey. So thank you very much for joining us here in the studio today. From me, David Bell, and Professor Alan Barrell, thank you for joining us. We'll be back next month in January, where we've got another great guest joining us here in the studio, where we'll be learning more about enterprise, entrepreneurship, and individuals. So thank you very much for joining us. Until then, bye-bye.
Please tell your friends. Bye-bye.